Hello everybody and welcome back to another speed paint. However, this one is a very special one because today I'm incorporating in a Q&A session. You guys sent me a bunch of really awesome questions and I'm excited to answer them. But before I do that, I wanted to kind of say a few words about the picture and give some context. So first of all, the reason that I wanted to make this special is because if you guys are watching this on the day that the video is posted, which is March 10th, some of you may or may not know that today is mine and Simon's birthday. It's our 20th birthday today. And if you don't know who Simon is, he is my character Saito in the middle of this picture. This is my OC trio. If you haven't seen them before, it's Kyandi, Saito, and Yuya. And I wanted to make this special for that very reason. So before I hop into the questions, I'm going to give a bit of context behind this picture as to why Kyandi and Yuya are dressed as pandas. Basically, this is something that has become a tradition amongst the trio. What happened was one year Kyandi got really sick and she couldn't do anything and she couldn't go anywhere for her birthday, and so she was really bummed about it, but Saito and Yuya wanted to make her happy, so they went and got some silly costumes of something that she really liked, and they dressed up and kind of threw a little party where it was just them, and they hung out and had fun and made her feel a lot better. So the next year when the birthdays rolled around again, because their birthdays actually go in order, which is kind of funny, but the next year when they rolled around again, Kyandi wanted to return the favor, so she got costumes and dressed up for them as well. And so from there it kind of just became a tradition. So each year they will dress up as a different theme according to what that person likes on their birthday and just kind of have fun and do whatever that person wants to do the whole day. So that explains the panda suits. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching this drawing as I answer the questions. Speaking of which, it is time to hop into those. So let's get started. Here we go. The first set of questions comes from Shiny Blue Sylveon, and she says, basically, I'm assuming, how would you go about drawing something that you don't feel super confident in? Because she mentions having a hard time drawing a guy body. My best advice for that is to just look up references. If you're drawing a character from a fandom, you have a bit of an advantage because you can look up references and see exactly how they're supposed to be drawn. If it's an OC and you're having a hard time drawing that, basically what you got to do is just kind of narrow down what type of body type you want and how you want it to look. So you have a little bit more freedom there because you decide. But basically looking up references and looking and just practicing and getting the forms down and simplifying shapes, definitely looking up tutorials, all those things will help you greatly, and that's typically what I do. The next set of questions is from Talia, and she says, what's your favorite anime/manga? Now, answering this question is like answering what my favorite song is or my favorite movie, because I like so many different genres that it's really hard to choose. But I usually always answer this by saying that I really love fairy tales, so that's probably at the top, and then everything else is a really close second. To list a few, I freaking love Free Iwatobi Swim Club and Free Eternal Summer. I love Ouran High School Host Club. Durarara, I love Durarara so much. I love Tokyo Ghoul. I love Soul Eater, Attack on Titan, Utapri, so many. There's so many good ones, and there's so many that I'm still discovering, and just, yes, it's really hard to choose that, but at least that's a list of some that I like. The next part of her question is, what do you find hardest to draw? And all I'm gonna say is proportions. The last part of her question says, bonus question, can you please do a tutorial on how to draw guys? I'm grouping this with a couple of the other questions that I got that are sort of similar, and I'm going to just sum it up by saying that I actually have been considering doing some sort of like tutorial type series where it wouldn't really be tutorials because I don't think I'm on that level right now. I have been considering doing that, especially for guys, because a lot of people do tutorials and stuff on how to draw girls, but I mean, come on, we need more guys up in here. Am I right? Am I right? I'm right. So yeah, I do kind of want to do something like that, but if there's specific things that you want to see, then you can kind of let me know, and maybe in the future that will just pop up somewhere randomly. Moving on to the next set of questions, they come from Midnight X Cross, and the first one is, what are your favorite movies? Now this one, again, it's a really hard thing to answer, but some movies that I can watch again and again without them really getting old. I really love Pixar movies like Big Hero 6, Wreck-It Ralph. I really love like fantasy adventure movies, Lord of the Rings, stuff like that. I love the Avengers movies and a good amount of Marvel movies. I really love the Spider-Man movies, the original ones. I love Princess Bride, Men in Tights, Spaceballs. Honestly, there's so many, and my quote-unquote favorites change all the time because I love so many different genres. So yeah, it's like ever-changing. The next part is, who are some of your favorite artists? Well, I'll start off by saying that everyone that I talk to on here and everyone who I'm friends with, I really, really strongly respect as artists, and they're definitely in my list of favorites. But as far as other artists that I like to watch, I really love discovering smaller channels and things like that. But some that I watch often are like Mark Crilly, Draw with Jazza, Mikey Making Manga. I really love Yamio. There's honestly a whole list. If you go through my subscriptions list, you'll see that like the majority of them is other artists, and I really respect each and every one of them. And it would really take a long time to list all of them. But yeah. The next part of the question is, what do you do to get inspiration for an artwork? This is something that's always different for me. There isn't a specific thing that I do. A lot of times the inspiration for something is completely random. And then other times it will come from a song or a scene from a movie or show or anime that I saw, or just something that happened to me in my life, and then I kind of like blow the idea out of proportion or see like how it would be in a different universe or something like that. It's always random, and a lot of times it will happen like right when I'm gonna go to sleep, so then I have to pop up and turn the lights on and jot it down so I don't forget. But yeah, it's always random and always different. Sometimes the seasons inspire something too. The next part is, what made you want to start a YouTube channel? Originally, I actually wanted to start my YouTube channel because I was inspired a lot by like Smosh and a bunch of early YouTubers. And so originally, I really wanted to do skits and comedy videos. But it turns out I'm not very funny and I'm not very good at doing that. So the channel had died for a while. And then eventually I came back, and slowly it just molded into being an art channel. And the reason I kind of molded it into an art channel was because I really enjoyed watching speed paints and art videos, and I was like, I want to do that too. And so I was finally at the point where I had the things I needed, like a screen recorder and a drawing tablet and stuff like that. And so yeah. The next question is, how old are you and how long have you been drawing for? Well, if you are watching this on March 10th or after March 10th, I am officially 20 years old, but at the time of recording, I am still 19 for a little bit longer. And it says, how long have you been drawing for? I think most people's answers is the same. Like, I've been drawing ever since I could hold a pen, basically, but I think all children draw at least at some point, whether it's on like scribbling on paper, drawing out of the lines on a coloring book, drawing on the walls. I don't judge. But yeah, I guess I seriously, like quote unquote seriously, started drawing around like 2010. I had always drawn, and I had always been drawing because it was always a huge influence, because my mom's an artist and we have other artists throughout the family, and so I'm really thankful for that. And it's always been something that was a part of my life, but I started to get a lot more serious about it around like 2010, I think, and then it just kind of spiraled from there. The last part of her question is, where did you get the ideas to create your main OCs? OCs are kind of always different for me. Some of them are very personal to me, and then other ones kind of came into being because of their story or because of a theme, and then I kind of just developed them from there. But each and every one of them do have like a very important element, or at least one main thing that kind of made them what they are, and then they kind of developed the other things for them. But the ideas for them they always come from different places. Like the very personal ones come from a bit of a different place than some of the other ones that come from maybe like a song inspired it or something like that. Moving on to the next set of questions from GirlyMe316P. It says, what was your first OC ever? I'm not sure who my very first OC was, because I had been creating characters before I even knew what it meant to have OCs. But the first OC that I posted publicly is Killian, so I typically go with that one. He was just the first one that I put like a lot of effort into and a lot of detail and things like that. So yeah, I'll say him. The next part of her question is, what was your first anime or manga, and did it inspire you to draw? Fun fact, I actually got into anime pretty late. Like, early on I had been exposed to the basic stuff like Pokemon and things like that, but I actually got really into anime after I received the first issue of the Attack on Titan manga, which is signed by Josh Grelle, and it's really awesome. He voices Armin, in case you didn't know, in the dub, obviously. But yeah, I got the first volume of Attack on Titan, and if you guys have read it, spoiler alert, you know that at the end, it ends with Eren getting freaking eaten by the Titan. And so I got to that point, and I freaked out. I was like, I need to know what happens. And I literally freaked out. I even made a post about it on Instagram at the time. And so basically from there, I kind of found it on Netflix and watched the rest of it, and it was amazing, and it kind of just opened the door and just spiraled, because from there I watched the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and here I am, still discovering amazing shows and just loving all of them. So they're amazing. As far as it inspiring me to draw, I think that it definitely kicked that inspiration in the butt and kind of made it like fly a little bit. But I was actually drawing in the anime or manga style a bit before I started watching it avidly, because I really liked the style and I liked how it looked, but then I just slowly started learning more about it, and I loved it even more then. The next set of questions is from Manga Zen, and she says, do you ever plan on creating a manga/comic? I do have a lot of story ideas that are floating around in my brain. I don't know if they'll be in manga form. I do plan on doing something with them, but I don't know if it'll be in that form particularly. For one, I don't think I have enough experience or know enough about them to do that, and two, I don't know if I have enough patience, because I'm really bad at paneling. But yeah. Anyways, yes. The next part of her question was, on a scale from ew to nosebleed, how sexy is Uta? Uta from Tokyo Ghoul, in case you didn't know. And I will have to give the answer of head exploding, blood everywhere, all over the ground. If you ever seen Baka and Test, Kota Tsuchiya, yeah, probably like one of his scenarios where he gets a nosebleed. And if you guys have seen that show, you know that like in one scene it was so bad, he lost so much blood that he needed to walk around with an IV. So there you go. Hopefully that answers that. The next set of questions, I decided to answer all of them because they're fairly easy for me to answer. They come from Amy Lionheart, and the first one is, what medium do you prefer when it comes to drawing, digital or traditional? Well, I do really like both of them, and I think it's amazing what people can do with both of them. For myself personally, I love digital because I love the abilities that you have in digital, and I just love the final outcome, and the different things you can do with it is just amazing to me. Part 2 of her questions is, do you think that your best art pieces come from an instantaneous muse or just naturally? Honestly, in my opinion, for myself and for others, I think a lot of times the best pieces come from emotional art. And the reason is because emotional art gets a piece of the artist that some other art pieces don't really get. And it's just like, it's more emotional, it's more symbolic usually. It just has that extra little something about it that makes it really special, and I think some of the best pieces come from that. So I guess it's always different, but in my opinion, I really think it's emotional art. So I guess that would fit under the category of naturally. I'm not really sure, but yeah. The last part of her questions is, do you consider yourself as a perfectionist when involving your arts? If so, why? I consider myself probably a perfectionist in pretty much everything. It like gets to the point where it's ridiculous, honestly. But the problem is I'm also really lazy. So I'm a lazy perfectionist, which doesn't help anything at all. So there's like, I'm really nitpicky about certain things, but then there's a certain point where I just get like lazy with it or just tired of it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I don't want to look at it anymore. I don't want to touch it anymore. Just go away. And so, yeah, I end up like forcing myself to finish something or whatever. But yes, lazy perfectionist is a really big problem. Moving on to the next set of questions, they come from Tatty1907, Queen Tatty Bay. And the first one is, what's your favorite show ever or at the moment? Since I already answered the anime one, I'm going to answer for regular TV shows. And currently, I really enjoy watching shows like Last Man Standing, Face Off, and The Voice. And I really love America's Got Talent. Those shows are really fun to watch, in my opinion. And they're enjoyable, so yeah. The next part of her question is, do you have a favorite art supply? I guess I would have to say, if I had to choose, I really love markers. And the reason is because I love when people are able to use markers and it gives that like digital look. I guess I just really like digital in the way that it looks because, I don't know, the way that some people can like blend their Copics and stuff like that is just amazing to me. Or even other markers that aren't Copics, like especially when you can blend markers that aren't really for that purpose. It's just really awesome to me, and I love the way that they turn out. Other than markers, I really like erasers because erasers are good and they're your friend and they're really helpful, and I don't think they get enough credit. The last part of Bay's question is, what's your favorite feature in digital art? I honestly had a hard time choosing between the undo button and the layers. The undo button is awesome, but it should also exist in real life and not just for art, because that would be really, really convenient. Like you say something stupid, undo button. Yeah, you trip or make yourself look dumb, undo button. Look at how convenient that would be. But it would also be really convenient for drawing traditional, because there have actually been times where I have searched for the undo button while I'm sketching and I'm like, oh yeah, this is real life. I forgot. This is real life. Sounds like you get hit in the head or something. But yeah, layers are also really awesome. So that between those two things. The next one is from Roger Pareda, and he says, do you ship Natsu and Lucy from Fairy Tail? Dude, Nalu is my jam, but I also really love Jerza and Groovia and Gale, so yes. The next question is from Mr. Riddlesworth. He says, do you still play games? To answer this question, I still love games, and I really want to get into some visual novels and stuff like that, but I haven't played anything in a really long time because nothing has really sparked my interest the way that I would like it to. So, yeah. The next one is from Cody M, and he says, how long does it take you to draw? At minimum, it usually takes me 3 to 4 hours from like sketch to final piece. But if it's a lot more detailed, sometimes it could take like 7+ hours and I have to split it up into different days. So it just depends on how I'm feeling and what type of piece I'm doing. The next question is from Johanna Gilkey, and hopefully I'm pronouncing all these names right. She says, how many characters do you have and who do you enjoy drawing most? Well, publicly, I have posted 9 original characters, but I have almost an uncountable number of characters because I have characters that are like villains from plots. I have characters that are family members and siblings from plots. I have extra characters, love interests, things like that. And I actually have a set of characters that I might release soon. I'm planning on releasing them soon, so yeah. And who do I enjoy drawing the most? I would have to say probably the trio, because like I said, I really love messing around with the different AUs for them, and I don't know, it's just really fun. But it depends on my mood too, because I enjoy drawing different characters in different moods, so yeah. Next question is from Celine Vissoff, and she says, do you have any OCs where you just draw them once and never use them again? I actually don't have characters like that because when I create OCs, they tend to have details and stuff that's important to me, so I don't usually have just throwaway characters. The next question is from Amber's Creations, and she says, how do you use your mouse to draw? Well, I personally don't use a mouse to draw, and I think I said earlier that I have the Wacom Intuo small tablet, but don't be discouraged because you can do great things with mice, which sounds really weird. Oh god. There are a lot of people who make amazing pieces with a mouse, so if that's all you have to use, then don't worry because you can definitely do some cool stuff with it. Next question is from Alana V. She says, favorite hobbies? I have to say that aside from drawing, because she said not art, I really love collecting things, and I have these mini figures from Fairy Tail, and I really want the free ones. But I also really like sewing and watching anime. Does that count? Playing games every now and then. I have a lot of hobbies because I like to do many different things, so it just depends on my mood and the day and the week and the month, and yes. The next question comes from Queen Zoe Mariner. She says, she asks if I would do an inking tutorial traditionally because she liked the possession picture of Din and Skyla. If you haven't seen that, it's on my Instagram. To answer this question, I'll answer it with the last one, which is, would you be able to make how to draw videos? This goes back to that tutorial thing from earlier. I have been considering them, and as far as traditional things go, I might be able to do that at some point. If there's something specific, again, that would be cool to see, then you can let me know, and I will try to make that happen sometime in the future. But yeah. Again, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who asked questions. It was really fun, and if there was anything that wasn't answered now, don't worry, because I do kind of want to do this again. I almost plan on making it a reoccurring thing. Maybe I'll do like a once a week type thing eventually. I don't know if that could ever be a thing, but Yeah, anyways, thank you so much. I hope it was enjoyable to watch, and I hope you enjoyed the picture. I hope you like the final image. Anyways, that's all for now, and I will see you guys again really soon. Next time I see you, I'll be 20, even though I have pre-recorded stuff and I'm still technically 19 in those videos. Does that mean I get to hold on to it a little longer? Who knows? Anyways, I'm gonna stop before I keep rambling. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye for now!